Shortly, the Chancellor, the Honourable Michael Egan AO, and the academic procession will enter the graduation hall. As they've taken their position on stage, Advance Australia Fair will be played, and we invite you to join in the singing of the national anthem. Would you please stand for the academic procession?
Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Bujumu everyone. Good morning. And Nalawa. Welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country and its people, and to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and the invitation to welcome you here this morning. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated. My family descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it, And so he enrolled his daughter, Maria, or Bulgari, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure, for a time, some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, and it became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here this morning. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now, that was probably better understood in traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by strict sharing laws, which meant the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he encountered the people here, and he described them as one of the happiest people he'd ever met. They had nothing but the tools they carried. They made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, harvested food from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. Now, these weren't primitive societies, these were ancient cultures. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, no jails, no rents, no mortgages, and no homelessness. People cooperated to collect the resources which were needed, and then they were shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state with fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they've done here for the past 20,000 years. Now remember, this is not a dream or an ideal, this is normal life, and for the longest time. And there's no reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us, but we're a clever people, and there is still much magic in the world, I believe. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your life. Life is normally good, and we are naturally a happy people. I would suggest you share your gifts with the rest of us, though, and keep following that beautiful spirit within you that got you this far. You do that, and I'm confident that together we can put together a country and a world that we can be proud of, and a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. Just want to say congratulations to all of you, and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you, and welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan, AO.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first I want to thank all of you for coming. A graduation ceremony is a very important celebration of achievement, the achievements, of course, of all of our graduands, but also of the university. So it's very good that you're here, and I'm very grateful that you are. I also want to especially thank those of you who have brought children with you. It's good for them that they're here because their memories of today and of the importance of today may one day be the thing that inspires them to emulate the successes of today's graduands. And their presence is also good for us because every celebration is enhanced by the presence of children. Now, unless children have changed enormously since I was a child, few of them, especially the little ones, will be able to stay quiet or still for the duration of the ceremony. I don't expect them to or want them to, and I don't want parents to worry in the least if they don't. They are most welcome, and please let them run around and make as much commotion as they like. And I'm pleased to see that we also have a few babes in arms. One little girl up there was just 6 months old, and I saw her mother looked ready to beat her. There she is, good on you. Ready to beat a hasty retreat if she made the slightest sound. Don't worry about that. We know from long experience that if a baby cries during a graduation ceremony, they'll be back within 25 years to take out their first PhD. So it's something to be encouraged, not discouraged. Well, now, the most important thing today is that all of our graduands have a great day. And you will have a great day if you're relaxed. Most of you do look happy and relaxed. But some of you look rather nervous, as though you're about to go into the exam room rather than collect your degrees. Truly, there is nothing to worry about. Well, that's not quite true. Sometimes people come up here and trip and fall over. That's why we've got all these people here. Their job, they're highly paid. Their job is to pick you up and send you on their way, and they're well trained to do that. So please, really nothing can go wrong. So just relax. And that way you will enjoy the day, because you deserve to, and you deserve to take great pride in your graduation. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. I also want to congratulate all of you who are here today as the guests of our graduands, because if you think about it for just a moment, the very fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role. I have another important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure that you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, clearly, Macquarie University is not one of them. We're still a relatively young university. We celebrated our 50th anniversary only 4 years ago. We proudly take our name from Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, a man whose greatness and achievements were never acknowledged by his contemporaries, but only by history. Those of us who went to school in New South Wales were taught that Macquarie was a great builder. And it's true, he was. But his greatest legacy had nothing to do with bricks and mortar. His greatest legacy was the ethos he established, much to the annoyance of the then British authorities, of an egalitarian society. Because it was Macquarie's insistence that in this fledgling convict colony there be no distinction between the free and the freed that was the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for all. And that is a legacy that here at Macquarie we will always aim to maintain and honour. After our first 54 years, we now have more than 184,000 Macquarie graduates living in 142 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're now ranked in the top 2% of the world's universities. From our beginnings, we have defied the traditional boundaries of academia. We've pioneered and continue to pioneer learning and teaching approaches that challenge conventions and shift thinking. Our students play a major role in their own learning and are empowered to guide what and how they learn. We're also research pioneers. Our framework for the future, world-leading research with world-changing impact, is brought to life by renowned researchers whose bold and innovative solutions to issues of global significance are of enormous benefit to the world we live in. Excuse me. And by the way, that's not an idle boast. I'm sure that almost everyone in this room at some stage makes use of Wi-Fi. Well, now, Wi-Fi was developed not at Oxford University or Cambridge or Harvard or Melbourne or Sydney University. No, Wi-Fi was developed by Macquarie University scientists in conjunction with scientists from the CSIRO. And that's something that we're justifiably proud of. And I might say the research that's currently underway at Macquarie is no less significant. I'm sure all of you will be aware of the very recent death of Professor Stephen Hawking, a brilliant scientist and a marvellous and inspiring man. The disease he fought almost all of his life was motor neurone disease, and I'm very proud to say that our Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences is at the forefront. In fact, I think it's fair to say we are the Australian leader in helping to find a cure for that dreadful disease. And you might have seen recently in the media reports of some shark attacks in Western Australia, and earlier in the year shark attacks along the north coast of New South Wales. Well, some of our researchers are even working on an innovation that will prevent shark attacks on surfers, which I'm sure will be good news for many young people who ride their surfboards around the Australian coast. In fact, we have countless research projects underway, all of which have enormous potential to add to the world's knowledge and well-being. We're also proud of some of our new or relatively new facilities, including our Australian Hearing Hub, our library and our hospital. We are the only university in Australia that owns and operates its own hospital. Not all of our facilities, however, are first class. A lot are simply not fit for purpose. And that's why when you arrived here today, you may have thought for a moment that you were visiting a war zone. That big hole in the ground behind me is the site of our new central courtyard, which will house new food and beverage facilities, other social and study areas, as well as on-campus student accommodation. A little further away, our arts faculty building, one of our oldest, has been completely gutted and will be replaced by a new arts precinct, which will also include new spaces for our superb museums and galleries. So we're looking forward, and we are on the move. Here at Macquarie, we have a very clear and straightforward mission, and that mission is to transform people's lives and to improve the lives not just of our own students, but also of people all around the globe, by the work and achievements of our graduates and by the fruit of our research. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Well, now, graduands and ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Professor Darren Bagnall. Darren grew up in Stoke-on-Trent in England, a region widely seen as the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. Collieries, steelworks and bottle ovens provided the backdrop to his early childhood years. He was the first in his extended family to attend university and obtained his degree and then his PhD at Salford University. From there, he joined the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow as a postdoctoral researcher working on semiconductor lasers. His promising research earned a prestigious research fellowship that took him to Tohoku University in Japan in 1996. While there with his co-workers, he was the first to demonstrate laser action in zinc oxide at room temperature. In 1999, he returned to the UK, joining Southampton University as a lecturer in the School of Electronics and Computer Science. Over 15 years in Southampton, he progressed from lecturer to professor and eventually led the Nano Group and the UK's National Silicon Fabrication Facility. He also became chair of the UK Solar Energy Society. In 2013, Professor Bagnall left the UK once more to become head of the School of Photovoltaic and Renewable Energy at the University of New South Wales. We were fortunate that he joined Macquarie University as Dean of Engineering fairly recently, in August last year, with a strong remit to grow the young and dynamic School of Engineering with a distinctive research and educational vision. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Darren to deliver the Australian Occasional Address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Darren Bagnall.
Thank you. Chancellor, colleagues, graduands and families. It's a great pleasure to be here on this very special occasion, and thank you for providing me this opportunity to talk today. For the graduands here today, this marks the end of a formal period of education, and this ceremony is a celebration of what you have achieved, and an induction, in fact, to the world of work. Somewhat alarmingly, my own graduation was now almost 30 years ago. Perish to think where all that time went. And I still have very fond memories myself of that occasion, a very special day with my parents. We partied long into the night. It was one of those great days, and please do enjoy your experience today. In the late 1980s, there was what was known as a milk round. Many companies would visit universities in the UK and accept the graduates into their graduate programs. For many of my friends would go on to work for those companies for many, many years, and some still do work for those original companies. Things are not quite so simple and straightforward today. And it's been reckoned that today's graduates and today's graduands might enjoy as many as 30 different jobs and maybe as many as 4 different careers during their working life. This is perhaps quite confronting to many of my generation, but I believe that this is the potential prospects that you have and the world of possibilities that are alive at the moment is an incredible opportunity for you all, and an opportunity you should all relish. You're no longer confined to a rather predictable career path, and you do have amazing opportunities to contribute and to make a difference to the world. You can see the whole world and build wonderful, bespoke lives that work for you. If I reflect upon my own story, I've perhaps had 4 careers. I've been an engineer, a scientist, a teacher, and more lately, a manager. And although I never actually left university, I've had 7 jobs, as have been described. I've lived in 4 different countries, and though it's almost never been easy, I have always enjoyed my work and the many diverse opportunities and experience that academic life has provided for me. As I reflect further, there have been perhaps 7 key moments where choices that I have made have profoundly affected my journey. And if I look back upon them, I think I made the right decisions. To be here in Sydney and here today reflects that success, if you like, and the good decision making. But my first key decisions really were to continue education beyond high school and to, in fact, go to university. For many of you, this might not have been an obvious or even a direct step, but it was obvious to me. I always wanted to go to university. But for the vast majority of my school friends, they did not have the opportunity or the chance to go to university. And in fact, only around 5 out of 100 of the kids in my school did take that chance. And as was mentioned earlier, I was the first in my entire family to go to university. So several of my school friends actually took jobs with the National Coal Board. Stoke-on-Trent used to produce some of the cheapest deep mine coal in the world, and miners were really well paid in those days. Unfortunately, open cast coal from Australia turned out to be much cheaper, and many of my friends would have been into their second careers within about 5 years of leaving school. So the future is genuinely unpredictable, and we just have to take things as they come. I went to university instead. My degree and then my PhD opened many doors to my future. But certainly, in the case of the PhD, I'd chosen to do something I really wanted to do out of curiosity, out of interest, out of a personal drive. And so really with a complete disregard for any possible negative career or financial implications, or indeed advice I was receiving from many friends and family at the time, I did a PhD. And I think the key message there is important to follow your dreams and do the things that you want to do, not always the things that you're meant to do or the things that people tell you to do. After my PhD, I had a choice. I'd been accepted on a teacher training course in Lancaster. But then, actually, arguably just in time, I received an offer for a postdoctoral position in Glasgow. I chose Glasgow and the opportunity to not only teach but to research. But in those moments, my life journey could have taken a distinctly different direction. I actually think I would have been a good teacher. But our decisions in the end can really make a huge difference in the path that our careers take. And that was, to me, the closest example I had of really different decisions made on almost a moment's basis. 3 years later, I had to choose again, this time between research positions in Mexico or in Japan. I can't imagine two more different destinations in many ways. I chose Japan and enjoyed the most amazing 3 years of my life there, before finally being offered a lectureship at Southampton University. So then at around 33, I'd made the kind of breakthrough to a stable, ongoing academic position that I'd wanted for some time. And I kind of settled down. I bought a house, started a family. Eventually, traveling is great and doing all these wonderful things is great, but eventually most of us will want stability and will want to settle down. But just in that moment, just when we thought we'd got it all sorted out as a family, I was approached by UNSW. And this was an amazing opportunity to lead a world-leading research team that effectively had invented the solar cell and solar panel and really been at the front end of the kind of renewable energy revolution that we're seeing bearing fruit now. So it was an amazing opportunity not only for my career and in my research, but also an opportunity to bring my family to this fantastic country and this fantastic city. We live in Coogee near the beach, and that's kind of every person in Stoke-on-Trent. That's kind of their dream. So we're doing really well. And really, the message there is things really do turn up out of the blue. I will never forget receiving that email from UNSW. And then, same thing happens again last year. I received an email, an approach from Macquarie University, and just when I thought I wouldn't be moving again, I moved again, because Macquarie University and the sense of ambition that I see here, the sense of community, is very special. And this was a job I simply couldn't refuse. We have a really exciting chance to grow the School of Engineering here, and it's something I relish and enjoy every day. So when I reflect on my career and think of our graduates here today, I envy the great opportunity that you have. The world is a much smaller place. The distance between Stoke-on-Trent and Manchester does not seem quite so far anymore. And many wonderful experiences lie ahead of you. It won't always be easy, and indeed it's important to work hard, but it should always be rewarding, and you've got to accept that change will be the new normal. You should take advantage of those changes and those unexpected opportunities. So to finish, I'd briefly like to encourage 3 approaches that I personally believe can help you in the years that lie ahead. So first, please do pursue your dreams. Decide what you would like to do and plan for exactly that. This might take time and it might change, but it is important to have some real sense of purpose and personal direction. Second, please be proactive in your own personal development. Seek to be the best person that you can be for yourselves and for your families. Consider undertaking more courses, maybe here at Macquarie University. Find yourself mentors, coaches, maybe personal trainers, people that can help you build an even better you. Also build lasting networks and friendships and a circle of colleagues and friends that are going to help to support you in the years that lie ahead. Finally, I would ask you to be a people person, or be people and team players. And while you're doing this, please do try to be fully inclusive. I've personally experienced diverse teams to be strong teams, and there are nowhere near enough women in engineering or science. So please do what you can to support your female colleagues and any colleagues with different backgrounds from your own, because you and your teams and your companies will benefit from that diversity. So with those small suggestions, let me thank you again, congratulate you from the bottom of my heart, and wish you all the very best on this special day and into the exciting futures that lie ahead of you. Thank you and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Darren, for your occasional address, and thank you for coming to Australia, and thank you for coming to Australia's best university here at Macquarie. There's no question about that, by the way. I noted that you said you graduated, 30 years ago? I wish I could say that I graduated only 30 years ago. It's closer to 50 years from me, and it's so long ago I've almost forgotten it. But I hope that you'll always remember your graduation, and also remember the point that Darren made about your network of colleagues and friends that you have acquired here at Macquarie. In some ways, that's probably just as important as the knowledge and skills that you have acquired. And I would urge you to make an effort to maintain those friendships and those connections for all your life, because they will stand you in good stead. So do please keep that in mind, and I think Darren deserves another great round of applause. Well, I mentioned earlier that there's nothing for you to worry about, but we now come to the part of the ceremony which makes me a little bit nervous on occasions, and that's the conferring of degrees, the reason we're here. And the reason I get a little bit nervous is because someone I went to university with more than 50 years ago, actually, subsequently became the Chief Justice of New South Wales. And he told me once that if I conferred a degree on someone who was not eligible to receive it, it was really very, very difficult for me to take it back. So I have to make absolutely certain that each and every one of you is qualified today to graduate, and I have to make sure that each and every one of you never skipped a class or were late in submitting an assignment. And I'm going to call upon the registrar to give me an ironclad assurance on all those fronts. Gail.
Chancellor, I can indeed certify that all of the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees please stand?
That's you, yes. Well, graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees to which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science and Engineering, and I now call on Professor Barbara Messerle, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science and Engineering, to present the graduates. Professor Messerle.
Chancellor, The graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science and Engineering. This faculty teaches programs across the full breadth of the sciences and engineering. While there are many challenges facing the world, there are also endless possibilities to problem solve, think creatively, and change society for the better. From finding new ways to feed 10 billion people, to fighting cybercrime and keeping our data safe, our researchers at Macquarie University are using innovative techniques to tackle global challenges. The faculty is committed to excellence in teaching, research, innovation, and to engagement in science and engineering. We conduct research that has significant impact on scientific knowledge and on the well-being and prosperity of individuals and societies. We provide an enriched student learning experience through scholarship and engagement to enhance employability. We have close links with industry and are building firm future partnerships, especially with companies located nearby in Macquarie Park. Australia needs more STEM graduates who have the skills to make real change and shape our collective future. So today is an important day where we celebrate our most recent STEM graduates. This ceremony includes graduates from disciplines of environmental sciences, engineering, and molecular sciences. So, Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering whom you have admitted to degrees. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with First Class Honours and the Bachelor of Science. Michael Rodney Bauer. Bradley Ryan Gilbertson Beck. James Name. Mitchell Pike. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours and the Bachelor of Science. Joel David Fehlberg. Angelo Leo. Nathan Andrew Zachary Levitt. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours and the Bachelor of Commerce, William Thorby. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with First Class Honours, Claudia Camerata. Jason Dalmazzo. Netini Telanga Weratunga Imeyaga. Najid Pereira Ishak. David Charles Simpson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, Luke Anthony. Daniel Robert Edmund Bongolan. Michael Buckingham. Agron Goni Keller. Billy Konditsis. Mark Christopher Dunn. Adele Farah. Michael Amor Griffin. Naya Hanif. Timothy Yelema. Hagop Keriog Lanyan. Mitchell Klazowski. Paul Liu. Samantha Lee. Timo Meyer. Norshan Nazrul. Rakshita Ravi. Angus Richard Ross. Shiwei Tang. Peter James Toms. Thomas Tweedy. Jonathan Wu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Science. Caitlin Fowlis. Lauren Rose Gorachowski. Soraya Jessica Wadlow.
Congratulations.
Imogen Sophie Wadlow. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Advanced Science. Yvette Monique Bowder. Emily Botero. Nicholas De Bono. Nathan James Enriquez, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Jocelyn Melanie Johns, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Lucy Mary Matthias. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering. Grishma Manika Chamati. Ao Chen. Isabel Fraser. Jason Ian Harrison. Jeffrey Lee. Shagufta Mamona Mubin. Yufeng Yu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environment. Suraya Amini. Lara Jane Banke. Alexandra Jane Dickey. Brendan Harrison Fallon. Michael Joel Goodhue. Brooke Kelly. Anthony Knox. Alice Paul. Julia Salt. Angela Kate Smidmore. Sonia Starkowska. Jude Tan. Damien Andrew Thomas. Jake Peter Turi. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science. Elaine Grace Aldrich. Zachary James Aliberti. Edward Azar. India Jade Boyton. Scott Crystal. Elizabeth Ann Conybeare. Rebecca Jane Darcy. Aaron Samuel Laffey Duncan. Lara Estrella Feda. Christian Foyer. Lou Andrea Janatas. David George. Fabia Habib. James William Hilly. Daniel Anthony Hopper. Jesse Graham Stanley Lane. James Gok Fei Lau. King Chung Lee. Mark Guido Nicoletti. Pia Louise O'Donnell. Madison Page. Sanjib Babu Shrestha. Alexandra Deborah Thyssen. Jane Christine Troop. Alexandria Tuckett. Sheikh Farhan Zaman. Thank you. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Engineering, Muhammad Sharik Ali. Nurses Baliotsian. Ahmad Golgir. Syed Munib Nadim. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Engineering Management, Yahya Iqbal. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Environment, Samuel John Hall. Leanna Jane Morgan. Luis Alejandro Voicest Udanivia. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Geoscience, James Amobi Ngoku. Levi Monwan Sylvester. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Radiopharmaceutical Science, Ajay Hasija. I present the diplomate awarded the Graduate Diploma of Geoscience, Aaron Flint. I present the diplomate awarded the Graduate Diploma of Laboratory Quality Analysis and Management, Leong Kwan Derek Low. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research with Distinction. Russell Miranda Vincent for a thesis entitled Reprogramming the Genetic Code, Defining a New Start Codon in Escherichia coli. Sorry. Patrick Alexander de Rosa for a thesis entitled New Tools for Euglena, Detection of Paramylon and Chlorophyll by Flow Cytometry. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research. Tusha Ahmed for a thesis entitled On the Enhancement of Biodiesel Droplet Vaporization Using Electrostatic Charge. Mackenzie Austin for a thesis entitled A Comparative Analysis of Remote Sensing Methods for Burn Scar Mapping in Wetlands. Payal Barua for a thesis entitled Chemical Tools for Isolation of Endogenous Claudins from Carcinoma Cells. Sayantani Chatterjee for a thesis entitled Dissecting the Liver Tumour Microenvironment, Cell and Subcellular Specific Characterization of N-glycosylated bathogen. Kelly Rebecca Cook for a thesis entitled Comparative Analysis of Reactive Mercury Measurement Methodology and Environmental Correlates in Australia. Michael Cowled for a thesis entitled Isolation and Semisynthesis of Entericin Analogues as Novel Antibiotics. Benjamin Alexander Ford for a thesis entitled Structure Function Investigation of Substrate Binding Proteins from Synococcus sp. Byron Maxwell Gear for a thesis entitled A Preliminary Thermochemical Model of the Australian Lithosphere. Bradley Graves for a thesis entitled Charcoal Preservation and Fire History in Floodplain Wetlands, Problems and Prospects. Jason Hodges for a thesis entitled Low Frequency Noise Characterization and Modelling of Metal Oxide Semiconductor Field Effect Transistors. Stephanie Kovac for a thesis entitled Different Modes of Alteration in Carbonaceous Chondrites, Timelines and Processes. Philip Lorenzelli for a thesis entitled Acidic Receiving Water's Impact on Metal Solubility from Conventionally Treated Mine Drainage. Alexandra Mary Lynch for a thesis entitled Fostering Sustainability in Initial Teacher Education Primary Programs at Macquarie University. Ruchi Daval Mehta for a thesis entitled Optimising Yeast Surface Display for Identifying Cellular Targets of Natural Products. Irene Maroney for a thesis entitled Release Properties of Melatonin-Loaded Mesoporous Silica Materials. Stephanie Sabina Nagy for a thesis entitled MDFA, a model multi-drug efflux pump for single molecule investigations of transport. Kamala Devi Pangsatabam for a thesis entitled Investigating the Impact of Emerging Human Pollutants on Marine Synechoccus. Kai Peng for a thesis entitled Engineering Biosensors for the Detection of Unfolded Protein Response in Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Maria Rahman for a thesis entitled Performance Comparison of Gallium Nitride in DC-DC Converter Circuit. Carla Raymond for a thesis entitled Mummification Unwrapped, Investigating an Egyptian votive mummy using novel, non-invasive archaeometric techniques. Luke Thomas Smith for a thesis entitled Precision Positioning in Unmanned Aerial Geophysics. Bronwyn Louise Teese for a thesis entitled Lower Middle Cambrian Microbiolites from South Australia, Construction, Biophases and Biogeochemistry. Joshua Adam Thompson for a thesis entitled Bimetallic Catalysts for Multi-Step Reactions. Congratulations. Alexander Robert Tunadine for a thesis entitled Fingerprinting the Source of Mineralising Fluids in IOCG Systems, Mount Woods Inlier. Hao Ming Wu for a thesis entitled Constraining Crustal and Sedimentary Structure of Southeast Australia with Rayleigh Wave Ellipticity. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Oluwatosin Bunmi Adebayo Agbaje, for a thesis entitled Silk-Based Fibres versus Collagen Gel, Major Organic Components of Bivalve Shells. Dr. Sofia Aharonovich for a thesis entitled Cenozoic Climate Reconstructions via the Prism of Organic Geochemistry of IODP-recovered sediments from the Southern Pacific, Northern Atlantic and Northern Indian Ocean. Dr. Afan Aziz Baba for a thesis entitled Compact Resonant Cavity Antennas with Large Bandwidth and High Performance. Dr. Daniel Buccio Noble for a thesis entitled Nutraceutical Properties of Whole Dried Sugarcane Extract Studied by Proteomics. Dr. Bruno Colas for a thesis entitled Structural Constraints on the Crystallization of Amorphous Calcium Carbonate. Dr. Kirsten Louise Cowley for a thesis entitled The Hydrogeomorphic Structure and Function of Temperate Upland Swamps in Eastern Australia. Dr. Libing Fu for a thesis entitled Evaluation of the Biophysical Characteristics of Upconversion Nanoparticle-Based Nanobiohybrids for Blood-Brain Barrier Crossing. Dr. Anna Grishina for a thesis entitled Production of Human Fucosyl Transferases in Trichoderma ricei. Dr. Michael George Howden for a thesis entitled Synthesis of Highly Fluorescent Tunable Boron Complexes. Dr. Muhammad Tawhidul Islam for a thesis entitled Bioinformatics Analysis of Proteins and Proteomes. Dr. Kim Jessup for a thesis entitled The Role of Aqueous Fluids in the Formation of Regional Style, High Temperature, Low Pressure, HTLP Metamorphic Complexes. Dr. Zara Kamsa Safa for a thesis entitled Application of Tree Barks to the Removal of Arsenic-5 and Selenium-4 Species from Coal Fly Ash Leachates. Dr. Peyton Lisenby for a thesis entitled The Influence of River Sensitivity and Sediment Connectivity on Geomorphic Response and Effectiveness in the Lockyer Valley, SEQ. Dr. Ju Wen Ian Loki for a thesis entitled Biosynthesis, Structure and Function of Protein Palcomanolacylation in Human Neutrophils. Dr. Zhenggu Lu for a thesis entitled Mantle Xenoliths from Southeast China and Southeast Australia, Nature and Evolution of the Lithospheric Mantle. Dr. Matthew Richard Majewski for a thesis entitled Dysprosium Mid-Infrared Fibre Lasers. Dr. Shi Xian Edward Mo for a thesis entitled Platforms for In Vitro Glycoengineering of Proteins. Dr. Bernat Oliveira Bravo, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for a thesis entitled Multi-Phase and Multi-Component Reactive Transport in the Earth's Interior. Dr. Kavita Regini for a thesis entitled Natural Products and Discovery of Cellular Targets Using T7 phage Display. Dr. Muhammad Habibur Rahman for a thesis entitled Effects of Clay Organic Association on Hydrocarbon Generation in Shale. Dr. Marek Riljon for a thesis entitled Enhancing the Application of Field Portable X-ray Fluorescence Technology for the Measurement of Metal-Contaminated Soils. Dr. Sheila Shabatsian for a thesis entitled Distribution, Interacting Partners and Function of Polysialic Acid in the Brainstem and Spinal Cord of Adult Rodents. Dr. Shahjahan Siraj for a thesis entitled Anti-Fouling Physically Small Carbon Electrodes for Dopamine Detection. Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering.
Chancellor, I call on Dr. Benyat Oliveira Bravo, who has graduated today with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Dr. Bravo.
Hold on, I couldn't wait to go up and drink some water. Okay, here it goes. Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests, thank you all for being here today. I would like to start by congratulating you all on the occasion of receiving your degrees. You did it. Well done. I would also like to take a moment to thank all the people who are either here or on the other side of their screens watching this ceremony. Family, friends that become family, academic staff, staff members. It has been you who helped us get where we are today. A special thanks, of course, goes to my parents. Where's the camera? I guess somewhere. Aita ama, eskerrik asko denagatik, ez dago hitzik, mila esker. To be honest with you, I was not expecting to be here today. I reviewed a couple of graduation speeches on YouTube, and by the looks of it, someone who is wise, well-respected, honorable, or even a celebrity should be delivering this speech today. But instead, here I am. Sorry for that. Actually, now that I think about it, I am not even a good example for you all. When I first came to Macquarie University, this little man had big dreams. I was ambitious. I thought I had no limits and that hard work would take me all the way to success. Today, I have no shame in accepting that I was wrong and that my priorities were completely upside down. During these last 5 years, I have made very serious mistakes I wish I never made. I felt my friends from back at home when they came to visit me from overseas. I had 6 months to go with my PhD, and at the time I thought I couldn't even take a single day off to show them around. I let them go exploring Australia without me. I also failed my local friends. I said no to uncountable weekends away, and I stayed here at uni instead, working, always working, because my PhD was the only thing that mattered, right? And finally, I failed myself. About a year ago, on the 14th of January, 3 weeks prior to submission and after 4 years of non-stop work. That day, my body gave me the biggest lesson. My body said enough. I collapsed. I fainted and fell on the floor of the bathroom here at uni. I started shaking, throwing up, and feeling nauseous. I was a mess. Doctors said that I was sick, mentally ill. In their opinion, I was extremely depressed, anxious, and stressed. For the first time in my life, I was sick without having any bruise, inflammation, or fever that could explain why I was feeling so miserable. The situation was pretty critical and required immediate action. My doctors, friends, and supervisor pretty much forced me to stop. I did not complete my PhD on time, but it did not matter at all. I only wanted to get better. My friends kept a good eye on me, and they did not leave me alone for a single day. Those friends to whom I believe I failed over the last years were there unconditionally supporting me. I owe it to you that I'm here today. Unfortunately, I am not the first one to have suffered from mental health problems at this university, and I'm afraid I won't be the last either. A remarkable study published last month in Nature Biotechnology shows that 41% of graduate students scored as having moderate to severe anxiety as compared to only 6% of the general population. Additionally, 39% of graduate students scored in the moderate to severe depression range. In other words, almost half of the graduate students suffer from mental health issues. They are not happy. I know that work-life balance is hard to attain, especially here in academia, and I honestly believe that I am the one whom is ultimately responsible of what happened to me. However, let's be clear, I am not the only one who is responsible here. Universities and research policymakers also played a key role in this sad story. Before I finish, I would like to share 2 last pieces of advice. Take from them what you will. I already told you that I was not a good example. The first message goes to this university. Macquarie University, you should not ignore your responsibility for the health of your students, as any decision that you make ultimately impacts on us. This includes things like restricting the length of PhD studies to only 3 years, or decisions that impact our already precarious financial situation, especially between international students. I have personally benefited from what I would consider an excellent campus well-being service. However, this is not enough. I think that the university needs to continue developing intervention strategies, including changes in academic culture, in order to address the mental health crisis within the university. And the last message, of course, goes for you all, my fellow graduates. Remember that above all, everything begins and ends with health. We are the biggest and most important assets we will ever have. Giving ourselves some attention is not selfish. It's a must. So please, look after yourself. If you need to take a break, then take a break. If you need to sleep, sleep. If you need to go on holidays, do not do like me and simply go. And of course, if you need to celebrate, like today, simply celebrate. Thank you all and congratulations on this massive achievement. Eskerrik asko.
Well, congratulations, Dr. Bravo, and not just on your Doctor of Philosophy degree. Congratulations on a speech the likes of which I've never heard before at a graduation ceremony. So congratulations. Congratulations on your bluntness and your frankness, and I can assure you that I will make sure that your message is not ignored. I think this young man is going to make a real difference in the world. I think he deserves another great round of applause. Well, now, that wasn't too bad, was it? That glorious voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. And you were very fortunate today that Angela was singing at your graduation. She sings at most graduation ceremonies, but every now and again, for one reason or another, she can't make it. But you were fortunate today that today was one of those days when she could, because when she can't, I do the singing. I think Angela deserves another great round of applause. And as you could tell, we have some fabulous musicians here. Dr. James Forsyth on the organ, and on the trumpet, Melanie McLaughlin. I'd also like to take the opportunity of thanking our alumni volunteers who come along to all of our graduation ceremonies to make sure that everything goes smoothly on the day. And I'm sure you'd like to thank them. Some are sitting over there and some are over there. And sitting behind me are, of course, representatives of our academic community who have been vital in your journey through Macquarie University. So I'm sure you'd like to thank them too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, or graduands, I should say, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of over 184,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And graduates, please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, to attend alumni events, to use, if you like, our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even if the mood takes you, just come back for a stroll to our lovely campus or enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, now, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either. Because almost everything you do in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned not only for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the world around us. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you've enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom are here with you today or looking at you on the televisions around the world, because our graduations are live streamed. And by the way, this week and last week, people from some 62 countries have been following our graduation ceremonies. So graduates, I'd like you to now please stand and do a couple of things for me. First of all, I'd like you to put your degrees on the seats behind you. And then I'd like you to face your friends and families, or if they're overseas, up there on the camera. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be moving out in just a few seconds. Well, ladies and gentlemen, shortly I will lead the official party out through the centre aisle. We'll be followed by all of the graduates, and then I would invite all of you to join the procession down the middle aisle, through the campus, down to the Macquarie, where I hope you'll stay and enjoy some light refreshments with us. We've got nice refreshments for the adults and even better ones for the children. We've got pink lemonade, ice cream and fairy floss. And you don't have to be a child either to partake in those. They're available to everyone up to and exceeding my age. So please yourselves. But we do hope that you stay with us for a little while. Well, I now invite everyone to now please stand. And please remain standing until the last graduate has processed out. Well, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.